Hello and welcome to watch this video about the basics of computer programming. In this video we are going to study loops, and the most common loop perhaps in computer programs is the while loop, and another common loop is the for loop. And when we are working with loops we often need relational operators like the less than operator and less than or equal operator, or the greater than operator or greater than or equal operator. And then we also use often the increment operator and the decrement operator. My name is Kari Laitinen and I have this site naturalprogramming.com. And when you go there, you can go to this JavaScript page, and there you find a program called whileloop.js. I have already downloaded it, so you can download it with a right mouse button. And I have downloaded the program, and it's here, and I can execute the program by typing node and whileloop.js. So this program is very simple. It says that numbers from 0 to 20 are the following, and then it lists the numbers, and it finally says that end of program. So I have the program open in an editor here. And here you see the statements. So there is first a variable definition, and the variable is assigned a value 0, and then we print the first line of text. And then we have the loop here. So this is the loop, while loop, and then after the loop we have this one statement that still prints one line of text. So the loop works so that there is this thing called Boolean expression here inside these parentheses, and this Boolean expression now says that if it returns is either true or false, and it is true as long as the value of the variable number to print is less than or equal to 20. So the loop works so that it checks the value of this Boolean expression, and if it is true, then it executes once these statements inside the braces. And then again it goes back to check the value of this variable or this expression, and if it is true it executes once these statements. And then it goes again to check the value of this Boolean expression, and if that is true then it executes these statements. So what happens here is that these statements are executed altogether 21 times, because now the value of the variable is 0 at the beginning, and it is with this statement the value is incremented by 1. So this is the increment operator, and it increments the value of this variable by 1 inside the loop, and eventually the value becomes 21, and then this Boolean expression is no longer true, and this means that the statements following the loop will be executed, and then there is only one statement there, so it means this is executed and then the program stops. So with the loops we can create repetitions. And well, we could make an experiment here so that we could do the same thing without a loop. So let's make an experiment so that I will copy all the statements from this program. So I will copy them and I will open a new file and I will paste the statements there. Well, I will save this also as I will name the file noloop.js. So I will modify it a little bit. I will take this out and I will take this out. I will leave only the internal statements of the loop here, and if I copy them like this and then I start pasting them, so I paste them 21 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 21. Let's see what happens. I save the program and I run it no loop, and you see that it does exactly the same. So basically this is the same program as the other one, but this is much longer, and I think this now shows why loops are so often used in computer programs. So let's go back to the original program then. And I have made a drawing here. Let's check that one drawing. About the structure of the loop. So this is the general structure of while loops. So there is the Boolean expression and then there are statements, and these statements are repeatedly executed as long as the Boolean expression has value true. And of course it's possible that if this is false at the beginning, then these statements are never executed. And actually a while loop is also a statement, so that a while loop can have other loops inside as internal statements. So these are usually called, a good term would be to use the internal statements of the loop. So the internal statements can include other loops and if constructs and so on. So let's modify this program so that I will put another loop inside the while loop. So for instance, I could do it so that, let's say that I would like to repeat every number that is printed. I would like to repeat every number 10 times. So I could do it like this. I will specify a variable. Sorry, I will say that it's 0 at the beginning. And then I would have a loop like this. As long as the number of repetition is less than 10, we will do something and we will print. Let's move this statement to into the loop. So I will cut it and paste it here, and then I will increment this number of repetitions, oh sorry, number of repetitions inside the loop. So let's check what happens. Now you see that every number is now repeated 10 times, but the output of the program is not so nice, so we could do so that we will do a new line after each number is printed, so it will look better. So I will now write outside the loop this statement. One new line there. This should make the output of the program look a little bit better. We'll save it and I will rerun the thing. So now you can see that each number is printed on its own line and each number is repeated 10 times. So you can easily print many numbers with a loop. And it's important to notice here that always this variable is always redefined inside the loop, and it is 0 always before we go into the inside this loop, but then the value of this variable is affected only by the outer loop of the program. And there would be another, well, there are always many possibilities to make computer programs, so this same thing could be made so that I would use here value 10 at the beginning, and then I would modify this expression so that I would say that as long as the number of repetition is greater than 0, and then I would decrement the value of variable. So the value of this variable would be 10 at the beginning, but then it would be decremented always after each printing is ready, and then eventually the value would be 0, and this would be not true, and then the program then this statement would be executed. But let's test the program. So it works the same. So we can have loops inside loops, and we can also have if statements inside loops. So that, for instance, if I would like to have if I would like to have, for instance, the small numbers, less than the numbers that are smaller than 6, I would like to them printed 20 times. So this would be easy to do, so that I could write here an if statement like this. So that if number to print, if it is less than 6, and then I would make the number of give it value 20, like this. Now, if the value of this variable would be 10 usually, but in case of small numbers it would be 20. As you can see, the small numbers are now repeated 20 times. So it's possible to have a while loop, and inside the while loop we have then an if construct and another while loop. And it's important to remember that also these loops, they are considered as statements. So this is the while loop, and another common loop in computer programming is the for loop. And the for loop is such that we could very easily convert this loop, the outer loop of this program, into a for loop. And the for loop looks like this. I will now replace the while loop with a for loop. So in a for loop, you have three things usually. So this is a typical for loop. So in a for loop, you have three things inside the parentheses. So first you have the initial condition, and then the middle thing is the Boolean expression, and the last thing is usually the increment or decrement operation. So if we convert this loop to a for loop, then we can just take this out from here like this, and then we can take also this variable definition out because it's now defined here, and we can take this out, this statement out, because now this is the statement that will be executed when the internal statements of the loop have been executed once. So let's test the thing. It seems to work as before. So it is usual that we use for loops when we know beforehand how many times we are going to repeat, and then we use while loops when we are less certain that how many times we are going to repeat. But usually everything that can be done with a for loop can be done with a while loop. And there are also other kinds of for loops in computer languages or programming languages, but this is a traditional for loop, and it can be said that it is the C style for loop, and because this for loop was originally in the C programming language. So if you want to study more loops, you can go to this page, and there is this for loop traditional that is the same as this while loop.js made with a for loop, and there is this example of do while loop. And then there is this for loops demo.js that shows the more modern for loops that can be used in JavaScript. Well, I think this is now enough about loops. I thank you for your attention, and we will most likely meet in some other video.